Hey, I was wondering if I could ask you something. I heard that you don't have any parents. Is that right?
Yeah, the woman who raised me died, and I don't even know who my birth parents are.
That must be tough for you, huh?
It's okay. They all died a long time ago, so I don't feel sad or anything like that now. But I do wonder who I really am sometimes. I don't have even the slightest memory of my birth parents.
Well, you might not know who you are, but you still work hard and you keep your chin up through it all. That makes you super strong in my book.
Hey, Raphael. Your parents are gone too, right?
Yeah, both my mom and pa died in an accident.
Well then, you're just as strong as I am. You work harder than anyone I know, and you do it all with the biggest grin in the world.
Of course! It's easy when you love training as much as I do. Hey, I just realized something. We've sure got a lot in common. Our parents aren't with us anymore. We're both commoners scraping our way through this war, and most importantly...
What can be more important than that?
Both of us have got some serious brawn!
I appreciate that, but our body types are completely different. Not sure this really counts as brawn.
Sure, you're a little scrawnier than me, and maybe a lot smarter. But you know, my brain's been getting a constant workout ever since we opened the inn.
You have an inn?
Oh, yeah. I went home and started one up with my grandpa and little sis once the academy shut down. Running a business like that takes a surprising amount of muscle. Sure, there's regular stuff like hauling things around, but you need brain power too. If you ever want to make a profit, you have to pay real close attention to keeping the books straight. I mostly let my sis handle that stuff though. That muscle still needs more work for me. Which means I'm in charge of the cooking. But that has its own share of problems.
Yeah, it can be tough to find your footing when you switch jobs, especially if you have to start doing things outside your wheelhouse. Trust me, I've had my fair share of growing pains getting used to the army life. Everything's way different from how it worked with my merc groups.
But don't you just fight? That doesn't seem so different to me.
Mercenaries tend to get involved in smaller skirmishes as opposed to big battles, and most of them prefer to fight solo if they can afford it. But an army acts as one unit. Coordinating that many people all at the same time is a huge change for me. And there's way more to military work than just plain combat. Stuff like managing resources, making sure everyone has the weapons and armor they need. I don't think I'm bad at math per se, but it's definitely not something I'm used to doing. And the more stuff there is to keep track of, the harder it all gets.
Hey, you're not so good at using your brain either. We're practically twins. That makes us pals now, right? I've got your back, so you just keep on working hard, buddy.
Right back at ya. Let's keep fighting the good fight.
Hey, how's it going? You been getting enough food?
Definitely. I'm eating way better than I was back in my mercenary days.
You didn't eat so good, huh?
I spent most of my time moving from place to place, so I had to manage on my own. I just fling whatever I could get my hands on into a pot. Can't say any of it ever tasted too great.
Wow, I'm surprised you could even live like that. And you never stayed at an inn?
Sometimes, if one happened to be nearby and I had a little extra money lining my pockets. But I never really felt like the food there was any better.
Sounds like you were at all the wrong places then. Nothing fun about a bad meal, I always say. That's why I want my inn to be known far and wide for its delicious food. I was actually hoping to do some cooking out here, too, so I could hone my craft. But I don't think it's going so good. You wanna know why?
Well, you did say you weren't all that great with detail-oriented work.
You're not wrong there. But that's not the only reason. See, all the meat and fish we've got in the pantry is preserved. When you're not working with the fresh stuff, nothing you make's gonna have people hollering for more.
You think? But there are dishes from all over the world that use ingredients that are on the verge of going bad.
You sure that isn't because they don't have a choice?
I'm no expert, but I've heard it can make a nice cut of meat even more savory depending on how you prep it.
Huh. Maybe we can learn some more if we ask someone who's from one of those places.
Not to mention, there are other ways of preserving food, too.
You mean, besides dumping salt on everything?
I'm sure you know about smoking your food, right? Things will keep for even longer if you do that after you cure them.
Yeah, but I heard that makes meat all smoky and gross. Kinda defeats the point if you ask me.
I think it depends on how you do it and what kind of wood you use. Apparently, it's really good if you do it right.
Wow, you sure know a lot about this stuff.
My mercenary days showed me more about the world than I could have ever imagined. I only really remember bits and pieces, though.
Come on, don't be so modest. I can't wait to get back in the kitchen with these new ideas you gave me. Hey, speaking of ideas, you want to help me think up some recipes with the stuff we've got here?
I'm not so sure me and cooking mix. But yeah, I wouldn't mind giving it a shot.
That's the spirit. I know we'll come up with some feast-worthy food if we just put our heads together. Hey, you gotta hear this!
What's up, Raphael? You're looking extra cheerful today.
Have you seen the looks on all the soldiers' faces lately? Don't they seem way more motivated?
Oh yeah, I was wondering what was going on with that.
Well, I was curious too, so I asked. And you know what they said?
Is it because we're winning the war? Lots of victories always boost morale.
Makes sense. Anyway, that's not the reason this time. They all said it was because of the food.
You don't mean...
Yep, they've all been eating the dishes we came up with. You know, with the smoked meat and the rotten food.
Hey, didn't I tell you not to call it rotten? In any case, our hard work definitely paid off. And the food's great too, if I do say so myself.
Right? I could eat that stuff over and over again and never get sick of it. And it's a big hit with the soldiers too. They said they actually get excited for mealtime now. Plus, it's made them fight way harder in battle.
I'm really glad everyone's so happy with it. Makes all our effort feel completely worthwhile.
You bet. See, food's important no matter who, when, or where you are.
Yeah, back in my mercenary days, I'd scarf down any old scrap so long as I was full at the end of it. But I've changed my outlook. Honestly, I feel like I can work even harder now that I can look forward to all my meals. And I never would have gotten here without you, Raphael. Thanks.
Huh. I was just thinking the same thing about you. Guess we helped each other equally. You know, I scrounged up every last piece of gold I could find just so I could go to the Officers Academy and become a knight. But once it shut down, opening the inn was basically my only option. But then, running the inn helped me realize all sorts of important stuff too. And now I'm sure, once this war's all wrapped up, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to become the best innkeeper in all of Foldland.
Sounds like a solid plan. But you'll probably need to up your cooking game even more if that's the end goal.
Yeah, I bet I'll have to train under a real great chef to get me where I want to be. Oh, and while I'm at it, I'm gonna come up with a brand new style of cooking. Something that'll really work my muscles.
What would that even look like?
Well, I don't know. I haven't invented it yet. Whatever the case, I know what I want to do now. Hey, what do you say to tagging along with me? I think you've got a real knack for this cooking stuff.
Well, think about it. Just be ready to have me showing up at your doorstep if the mercenary work ever dries up.
So you're gonna stick to being a hired hand, huh? Well, as long as that's what you want to do. Oh, but keep an eye out for an invitation from me. You'll definitely have to come over and try all the rotten food I cook up.
Seriously, stop calling it that. But thanks. I'm looking forward to it, Raphael.